Yo, what is going on, everybody? I hope you're well. It is the end of the season. 3 hours left, so I figured I'd show you some games at a little bit higher than GC1. We're going to go into GC2, not much higher, to be honest, 100 MMR. But the big thing we're going to show you here is, again, we're just going to go slow. You're going to probably see why we stopped. I stopped doing this series because it's a joke, really. You're going to see loads of whiffs. You're going to see loads of diving in with zero boost. You're going to see loads of throwaways of possession. Just dives into the corners. Like, literally the same mind-numbing stuff. This happens until high GC SSL, and then literally is a completely different game. So get ready for that. And instead of me talking through these next two games, I'm actually going to put on a podcast that was sent to me that watched, I believe, the last episode of the series and did a podcast about it. AI podcast, so cool. I got sent this morning. So we're going to put that on, guys. But I want to just say thank you, everyone, for the support. The interest in the Pacifist System is, gone through the roof. Everyone seems to be learning this. We're seeing way more grassroots playing like this now, which is really cool to see. Because as said before, only a crazy person would think that if you play fast, you instantly learn to play slow. That is something interesting, isn't it? You have to learn to play slow. You have to learn to play fast to get good at both. I mean, to think that one works and the other doesn't, I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the support. Look after yourself and enjoy the podcast. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into the world of competitive Rocket League. We're looking at what it really takes to climb the ranks, especially up to Grand Champion. Now you probably think, okay, fast-paced game, it's got to be all about lightning reflexes, super complex moves, right?
Yeah, that's the common idea.
Yeah.
But get ready for that to be challenged. Our mission today really is to unpack some, fascinating insights from a popular YouTube channel, Air Charged Gaming.
Ah, right. The Road to GC2v2 as slowest player series. And that video, everyone was wrong about Rocket League speed.
Exactly those. And what they show is, honestly, pretty counterintuitive. It turns out that deep game sense and solid fundamental strategies can actually be way more powerful than just raw mechanical skill.
So being the slowest player might actually be good.
It might just be your biggest advantage.
Yeah.
We're going to dig into why.
Okay, let's start with this whole Grand Champion thing. What does GC rank even mean now? You picture this, super elite club.
Well, that's the thing. It seems the definition, the feel of being a Grand Champion, or GC, has shifted. Air Charged Gaming points out it's actually a lot easier than it used to be to get Grand Champ.
Easier. How so?
Specifically, they say it's 100 MMR less. And MMR, for anyone maybe not deep in the weeds, is the matchmaking rating. It's that hidden number kind of gauging your skill.
So 100 MMR less.
So 100 MMR less. That sounds like a significant drop.
It really is. It changes the whole landscape. They even compare the current GC rank to Champ 2 of early season.
Wow, Champion 2, that's quite a difference.
Yeah, the implication is the, let's say, average skill level at that rank has dipped quite a bit.
And what happens when players actually hit this rank, this supposedly elite GC?
This is where it gets interesting. The videos mentioned they actually start to believe they're good.
I could see how that could be a problem.
From a coaching angle, yeah.
Yeah.
The sources say it can be infuriating because there's just so much wasted potential.
Because they think they've made it, but they're missing something crucial. Exactly. They often lack real game sense, that, intuitive grasp of positioning, boost management, making smart decisions. But because they hit GC, they think they're in the right.
So their perceived skill is way higher than their actual understanding. That's a tricky spot.
It really is. It's almost like the sources kind of hint at this blue pill idea, believing in a comfortable but maybe misleading idea of what it takes to win.
Taking the easy answer instead of digging deeper. Okay.
Precisely. And that brings us right to the core thing the series tackles, this divide between mechanics and fundamentals.
Right. So let's define those. What are mechanics in this context?
Okay, so mechanics are those advanced techniques. Think powerful flicks, really complex aerial plays, speed flips, maybe specific demo plays, blowing up opponents.
Or those really flashy flip resets everyone tries to hit.
Yeah, exactly. Those are mechanics. Mm-hmm. And the common wisdom, the blue pill maybe, is that you need those advanced moves to play at a high level.
But Air Charged Gaming pushes back on that. Hard.
Very hard. Their central argument, and it's really compelling, is that not a lot is possible if you only rely on those flashy mechanics.
Why not?
Because, they argue, if you play with strong fundamentals with good presence on the field, your opponents just don't have the time to use their mechanics.
So good positioning and smart play shut down the flashy stuff before it even happens.
Pretty much, you just don't have the space to pull off those big mechanical plays until you get to a real high rank where everyone has fundamentals and mechanics.
It's like trying to build a fancy roof before you've put up the walls.
That's a great way to put it. The foundation isn't there.
So the real power lies in fundamentals. What does that actually mean in Rocket League terms?
It's the basics, but mastered. Things like, and they literally say this, just learn to drive properly, solid positioning, smart boost management, huge one, understanding your role on the team.
Simple stuff, but maybe not easy to do consistently.
Exactly. This positioning-based series they do, it emphasizes the millimeter and the little changes. It suggests the quality of your play, the precision, is way more important than just raw speed.
They call this the Pacifist System.
Yeah, kind of a cool name. It's described as like steroids for game sense because it's built on set positions real easy to understand and execute. It's about being strategic, patient, deliberate, not just frantic.
Okay, so if relying just on mechanics is the blue pill and fundamentals are key, what are these high-ranked players actually doing wrong then? Where are the mistakes?
Oh, this is where it gets really insightful because it highlights common errors. A huge one they critique is the zero boost epidemic.
Zero boost, like literally none.
Yeah, players are always on zero boost, constantly, because they're constantly diving with zero boost or trying to challenge the ball, taking a 50-50 when they have nothing left in the tank.
And that leaves them stuck.
Completely. It makes them screwed, basically unable to do any task. They're just passengers after that bad challenge, running on fumes, like you said earlier.
Okay, so bad boost management leads to bad challenges.
And that leads directly to diving in recklessly and overcommitting. You see players constantly diving into corners with zero boost, or even worse, diving in as last man.
Oof, leaving the net totally exposed.
Totally. No protection at the back. And this just consistently creates devastating 2v1 situations for the other team. Leads to loads of open nets.
Easy goals for the opposition.
Yep. There's this really vivid analogy they use. A teammate following me like a dog following a bone with zero boost.
I can picture that. Just glued to the ball carrier, offering no actual support.
Exactly. It highlights how players get tunnel vision, get too close, and basically take themselves out of the play, becoming a liability. It's a breakdown in awareness, fundamentally.
And it's not just boost and diving, right? There's more.
Oh, yeah. Another big one is how players handle possession, or rather, how they don't. They're frequently smashing the ball away with zero boost.
Just hitting it anywhere.
Often against the wall, yeah. Which sounds safe, maybe, but it inadvertently just centers the ball up for the opponent.
Oh, like a perfect pass to the wrong team.
Exactly. This throwaway behavior, instead of maybe keeping it safe in the corner or playing it slow, controlling it, it's just a massive missed opportunity. It's like you're serving them the ball on a silver platter because you panicked or didn't have the boost for a better touch.
Okay, so bad boost, bad challenges, throwing the ball away.
Yeah.
What about rotations and positioning? That seems fundamental.
Absolutely critical. And another area with huge blunders, according to the sources, players often don't know the difference between being the first man, the one pressuring the ball, and the last man, the defender.
So they might cut off their teammate.
Yeah, or they try to play first man when they absolutely shouldn't, pushing their teammate off the ball, creating chaos.
And a second man, the support player.
Often just as bad. The videos show the second man being out of position, maybe too far wide, not central, or even sometimes driving away from the net when they should be covering.
Leaving big holes in the defense.
Massive gaps and problems, yeah. They call this sort of thing an inverted play style, and link it back to that blue pill misinformation, this idea that you always have to play fast when really you need to play smart.
So what is the correct position then, ideally, for a teammate?
Well, the series demonstrates it really clearly. The ideal teammate is behind me here. Notice I can't see him yet, he's behind me. That placement, behind but close enough to support, is so important. Behind and not ahead. That allows for actual effective support and proper field coverage.
Right, so you can react and cover, not just chase. Okay, so we've heard the problems. What's the actual solution then? This slowest player method.
It really boils down to mastering these fundamentals, making them your overpowered move, as Air Charged Gaming puts it. It starts with strategic patience and control.
Less frantic chasing, more thinking.
Exactly. Learning why it's often better to just stay close here, maybe let them hit it away if it's not dangerous, and practicing defending from behind, taking that moment, that breath to assess the situation instead of just reacting instantly and maybe poorly.
Creating chances through smart play, not just forcing things. Makes sense.
Yeah. And for the first man, the key is staying so close to the ball, maintaining pressure, rather than just rotating and smashing the ball away like we talked about.
Any specific techniques they highlight?
Well, something as simple as the single jump, just jumping once to challenge, is described as overpowered.
Really? A single jump?
Yeah, because it's really easy to learn, and it forces opponents into interactions, into making a decision or a touch. And that interaction, that control, is seen as way more important than that nonsense, what they call it, rotate back post.
So forcing the play instead of just defaulting to a standard rotation.
Sometimes, yes. And for the second man, the smart support player, they avoid diving in. They just let your first man deal with it when appropriate, which often leads to easy pickups when the ball pops loose, maintaining possession that way.
And all this presumably helps with that boost problem we discussed.
Massively. The narrator in the videos frequently points out, like, look, I've got loads of boost still after a play because they didn't overcommit. And then they strategically exploit opponents who are clearly on zero boost. It becomes a huge tactical edge.
Okay, that makes sense. What about things like demos? Demolitions?
Used strategically, yes. The advice is if a good flick isn't on against the last defender, go for the demo every time. Take them out of the play.
But you can also avoid being demoed yourself.
Yeah, by staying in smart defensive positions, maintaining control. If you're not caught out of position or scrambling, it's harder for them to line you up for a demo.
Gotcha. So it all comes back to smart, fundamental play.
At the end of the day, yeah. It's about focusing on high percentage shots and open nets. The sources really stress concentrating on the simple stuff that could just be goals, goal after goal.
No need for fancy aerials if the net's wide open.
Exactly. When an open net appears, the advice is crystal clear. Just finish it, don't be cute, don't be clever, just score the goal.
Simple and effective. Any other specific plays mentioned?
They mention the hook kickoff as being effective. That's a kickoff strat to try and win possession or force a good 50-50. And also playing inside to outside, meaning pushing the ball from the center towards the sides or corners. This can force an opponent to react or create space for your team.
So it's all about efficiency, control, capitalizing on what the opponent gives you, rather than always trying for the highlight reel play.
That's the core message, yeah. It's a really different way of looking at high-level play.
This whole deep dive into Rocket League, it really highlights a powerful truth, doesn't it? And one that, like we've been saying, probably goes way beyond just this game.
Absolutely. The sources even hint there might be a book coming out about these strategies, sort of formalizing this pacifist system, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a clear testament to focusing on those core fundamentals.
What this system really shows is that sometimes, maybe often, the best path to success isn't the flashiest one. It's not always about raw mechanics or pure speed.
It's about mastering the fundamentals, understanding the why, and actually using the mistakes that even really highly ranked players are still making.
Exactly. Understanding the underlying game.
So, thinking about this, what does it mean for you, listening right now? We've seen how in Rocket League, loads of players seem to take that blue pill. They believe complexity and high effort are always better. But maybe a simpler, more strategic focus on the fundamentals could actually get you much further.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, like where else in your life, or maybe in your job or field, could you be overlooking those foundational principles? Are you chasing complexity when mastering the basics might be the real key?
What if really understanding the groundwork, the why behind things, could unlock those aha moments, that unexpected mastery?
Something to think about, definitely. Whether it's in a game, learning a skill, or just tackling your daily challenges, maybe slow and steady, built on fundamentals, really does win the race.
And there you have it. That game we just played is the reality of this rank. So if you're out there and you're still working on your playing fast and you're playing your mechanics, enjoy being like Mahias. Okay? Probably going to be here forever if they carry on at this rate. I imagine they've played hundreds of thousands of games because, you know, it sometimes takes a long time for people to absorb basic stuff. Let's have a look. They've dropped 100 MMR, so it looks like they were pretty much boosted, judging by the way they were playing. Clearly a boosted player. Yeah, oh yeah, look, they literally go from Grand Champ 1 Division 3 into Grand Champ 3 Division 1 in one day. Literally boosted. Oh, Grand Champ 3 Division 2, so they went up, let's see, 220 MMR in a single sitting. So paid to get boosted, so they're probably like Champ 2, Champ 3. You could tell, like they're just smashing off the board, they're just useless. So obviously we've got this whole paid boosting problem, but that's the reality, guys. Well, hopefully that podcast was useful. I thought it was brilliant, so thank you again, Cooney, for sending that over. But guys, you know, get those fundamentals down, get the pink belt, get the basics down, and you will become a better player. Thank you so much. Look after yourself, and peace out. Peace, peace.